the sixth reading. We are Bamidbar, Numbers, chapter 17, verse 25. We continue with the episode of the staff. So, have their sixth reading. Yemer Hashem Moshe, and Hashem said to Moshe, "Hashiv esamate, return the mata, the staff, Aaron Avar, that belongs to Aaron, lifnei edus, before the edus, for the testimony, put it back in front of the testimony, limishmeres, it should be a keepsake, la'ois, for a sign, lemore, livnei mari, for those who are rebellious, that will end their complaints against me, and they won't die." So yesterday we had Aaron's staff that flowered and grew almonds. That was put into the Holy of Holies. And now it's going to be put back as for a keepsake. Always as a reminder not to rebel against God. And then because rebelling against him won't be a good end. Okay, let's see, 25 in Rashi. A safekeeping as a sign, Lizikara as a remembrance, Shivacharti ba'arin, that I chose Aaron, the Kohen, to be the priest, the high priest. You shouldn't complain alakuna over the priesthood anymore, right? It belongs to him and his descendants. You have it there, yeah?
Yeah.
Next Rashi was this means to put an end to their complaining. Lashon zeh loisam, shem mifal yochid lashon nekev. It's a singular noun in the feminine form. Losam, in Old French, murmur these. I don't know if I got that right, but that's yeah. Yesh chiluk bein to loisam to loisam. The difference between the two ways that this word can be spelled out. Tanulosam achas. Tanulosam means a single complaint. Tanuloisam shem davar yochid is a singular noun, but even if it implies many complaints. Okay. 26. He asked Moshe, and Moshe did. Kasher tziva Hashem, as Hashem commanded, I say him. So he did. Vayomer b'nei Israel, and they said, the children of Israel, El Moshe to Moshe le'mor say, Hein gavanu avadnu kulanu avadnu. Behold, we are dying. We will perish. We are lost. Kol akarev el mishkan Hashem yomus. So whoever comes close to the Mishkan, right, to the sanctuary of Hashem, dies. Have we been set aside to die? Have we, we've been chosen to die? Rashi in 28. Everyone who approaches closer. Literally means everyone who approaches. So they're saying, we're not able to be so careful. Kulana Rashim, all of us are permitted. We're permitted to enter into the courtyard of the tent of meeting. But if one puts himself closer than his fellow, and he enters into the tent of meeting, Yomos, he will die. Are we doomed to perish? Shema uvkarnu lamisa. Perhaps we've been cast to that we should die. He's in the sanctuary. only the Kohen can go in. So now, the Kohen has been chosen. He can, or has been confirmed the choice rather, right? That is Aaron and his descendants. And so the rest of the Jewish people are saying, well, we can bring offerings and we can come into the courtyard, but if we go a step too close, so there's a death sentence from the hands of heaven, by the way. It's not a court from the court, not, but they're concerned, they're afraid that they will not be able to be so careful, and therefore they're afraid that their lot is death. Okay. So continuing in chapter 18, verse number 1. So Hashem now says to Aaron, Ata, you, Uvanecha, and your sons, Obey Savicha, and your father's house, Itach, with you, Tisus Avan Hamikdash, will bear the iniquity of the sanctuary. Ata Vanecha, Itach, Tisus Avan Kunoscha. And you and your sons will bear the iniquity of the kahuna, of the priesthood. So here the Jewish people are concerned. So, okay, welcome, folks. Oh, what happened there? Why is that constantly happening? I don't get that. One second. Pretty unusual. Maybe it's not unusual. Oops. 1 second. Oh, okay. Okay. So continuing Rashi. Vayemer Hashem al Aaron, and Hashem said to Aaron, LaMoshe Amar. So it says he said to Aaron, but Rashi says no, it was said to Moshe, Shemer Aaron, that he should say to Aaron. So, commentators explain that Rashi is saying over here, even though the verse says to Aaron, but the request was made to Moshe, right? Their complaint was made to Moshe. So Moshe is the one who has to respond to that. So God told him, and now it's being told to Aaron, Lahazira al Takanas Israel. So Moshe should say to Aaron that to forewarn him or to take precaution regarding the Jewish people's well-being, that they should not enter the sanctuary. You, your sons, and your father's house. They're the sons of Kahas, of the Amram, which is the father of Amram. Okay. Continues Rashi. Tisus Avan Mikdash. So you the are going to bear the iniquity of the sanctuary. Aleichem ani matal einish hazarim. I'm placing upon you the punishment of those who are not kohanim. She'echdu bi'iskei hadvarim hamukdashim, who will sin in matters concerning the sacred things. Hamasurim lachem, that it's given over for your care, that you're supposed to take care of. V'hu that is the tent, v'aron and the ark, v'ashulchan and the table, v'klei kodesh and all the implements of the holy. Atem teishvu v'tizaru. You, Moshe is telling the kohanim that you sit and warn, is called Zar Haba Liga, that anybody who's a non-Kohen who comes to touch these articles, right? You're responsible, in other words. Atu v'necha, you and your sons are kohanim that are kohanim, priests. Tisus aban kunaschem, you'll bear the iniquity of your priesthood. Shena masura levim. This was not given over to the Levites, but tizara levim b'shegigim, and you shall warn the careless Levites shelo yigu aleichem, that they should not touch you, encroach upon you, b'avayidaschem, in your service. Because the verse says two things, right? The verse is saying the first part is that there shouldn't be any iniquity associated with the sanctuary. And then it says an iniquity associated with the kahuna. So that's about the Levites, because the Levites help the Kohanim, but they also might cross the line and not serve properly. So that's also a warning for make sure that the Levites do their job properly. Okay. The Israelites first part, and the Levites the second part. Verse number 2. Also your brethren from the tribe of Levi, your father's tribe, bring close to you, and they shall join you, they shall serve and administer to you, to you and your sons with you, before the tent of testimony. So gam achicha, b'nei Gershon, b'nei Merari, because Arain comes from Kahas, Amram comes from Kahas, but also there's three brothers. So also Gershon Merari, Hilvu is Chabru Aleichem, that they should join together with you. Lahazir Gam is Azarim, that they should join together with you for those who are not Levites or Kohanim, that to warn the Jews, right, the Israelites, that they shouldn't come close to the sanctuary and cross that line. Nishar Sucha, and they shall minister you. How? The Shmiras Hasharim, they have to be guardians of the gates, the watches and the gates. Limonos Mehem, Gizborim Be'armalakin, and that they are serving as treasurers and supervisors. The Levites, that is. B'shamar mishmartecha, and they shall keep your charge of mishmeres kol ohel, and also the charge of the tent. However, al klei hakodesh, to the holy vessels, and to the altar, they should not come close. They won't die. Neither them nor you. In other words, you have the responsibility to make sure they come close, because if they do, they will die. They will die at the hands of heaven, right? This follows what we spoke about earlier this morning in the Chassidus class about Korach, who wanted so much to be a Kohen Gadol, and the 250 other great people wanted to be a Kohen Gadol, high priest. Because of the great experience, connection to the divine presence that there is in the sanctuary, there's this strong desire that people want to have to get close. But it's not theirs, just like it's not their place. So don't cross that line. But because of the strong desire, there will be that mistake that will happen. And the desire is a good desire, but to cross the line is not proper, as we spoke about earlier. And they shall join you, and they shall keep charge of the tent of meeting, for all of the service in the tent. And no azar, a stranger, meaning an outsider, shall come near. I am cautioning you, There's the Kohanim. I'm cautioning you. You have to make sure to keep this properly. V'shmartim, right? That no one comes close. That shouldn't come across the line. Shmartim is Mishmar Zakedesh, and you shall keep the charge of the sanctuary. Yes, Mishmar Samizbeach, and also the charge of the altar. V'lo yeh oed ketzav b'nei Israel, and there will not be any more wrath against the children of Israel. V'lo yeh oed ketzav, Rashi says in number 5, as there was previously. Shenemar, as it said, Yotza Ketziv, as we had yesterday. Yesterday was the day before. Bani hine lakachti esachechem alevim bnei Israel, and I, God, is continuing. God is speaking this right to Moshe to give over to Aaron. Behold, I have taken your brothers, the Levites, right? They're brothers of the Kohanim. Why are they brothers? Well, Moshe is a Levite, and his brother is a Kohen, Aaron. Their brothers come from the same tribe, but Aaron was specifically made the Kohen, and his descendants after him. So I've now taken the Levites, your brothers, Mitei Israel, from amongst the children of Israel, Lochem. They are for you, Maton and Nesunim LaHashem. They are a gift to you. Nesunim LaHashem Lavai. They're given over to Hashem to serve, to serve in the service of the tent of meeting. Lochem Maton and Nesunim. They are a gift given over to you. Yachal Lavadoschem Shel Hedjei. So you might think that they are presented as a gift for the work of the mundane, to serve the Kohanim in a private capacity. In other words, that they could be used for your private needs outside of the temple service. Talmud Lamer, the verse says, otherwise, La Hashem, they're only for the sake of God. As it's explained previously, to keep charge of the clerks and the markin, the managers, and so on. Okay, verse number 7. Bata vanecha, and you, right, Aaron, vanecha, and your sons, that are with you, tishmeru, you shall guard your kuhuna, your priesthood, choldavar, in all matters, hamizbeach, of the altar, and from the dividing screen, which is the pareches, right? V'avadatem avedas, and you should serve the service matana, and you shall serve rather matana avadatem avedas matana etain, and I'm giving you a gift for the service. I will give the kunasim to the Kohanes. Azar Karev, you must, and someone who is not fitting for this will die. Avoid this matana. Matana nisati alachem. I've given you as a gift. So the Kohanim, right, they're serving. As we're going to see, there's 24 different gifts that Kohanim get for their divine service, right? They don't get land that they can, so they're going to get truma, they're going to get the bachor, the firstborn, they're going to get the first shearings and a lot of different things.
They have 24 gifts.
Yeah, 24 gifts. Thank you. As we will see. Let's go. Verse number 8. V'yidaber Hashem el Aaron, and Hashem spoke to Aaron. And And behold, I have given to you as mishmeres trumasi. I've given you the charge of my offerings, l'chol kodesh b'nei Israel, for all the holy things of the children of Israel. L'chol asatim. I've given it to you. Lamashcha, as the distinction of an as a eternal portion for you and your sons. So Rashi, Sikha on this that I learned. Number 8. Behold, I've given you. Bisimcha I've given you with joy. Lashon Simcha who said, this is an expression of joy, the word hine, behold. That he's going out to meet you. That's Aaron when he came out to meet Moshe by the burning bush. And also he saw that you rejoiced in his heart. Right, so he was rejoicing. Mashal Melech. This is a metaphor for a king. He gave a field to his close friend, but he didn't write or sign a document that it was transferred to him, that it belonged to him. And it wasn't, that transaction was not brought up in court to solidify the transaction in court, right? So what happened? A person came, all of a sudden he protested, lay claim to the field, that it's his. So the king said to his close friend who he gave it to, whoever wishes may come, and is going to make a protest against you. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to write and sign the document to transfer it to you, and I bring it to the court. Right? In other words, that it'll be registered in the court that this field belongs to you, that no one can come and make a claim against it. Right? Afkan. So here too, that was the metaphor. The Fisha Bal Korach. What happened? Korach came. He protested against Aaron over the priesthood. Baal Kosuf, the verse comes and says, and gave it to him. 24 gifts of priesthood. An eternal covenant of salt. That's why this passage, it deals with the gifts of the priesthood, is juxtaposed here with the incident of Korach, even though it was already given earlier. It was given earlier, but it's put over here, right, as a result, to solidify the deal. Mishmeret Shumasi, safeguard of my offerings. The safeguard is She'ata Tzarech L'Shamram. The safeguard is that you must guard Betara, its purity. A mashcha for distinction, ligdula for greatness. I've given you this for distinction, for greatness. Number 9. This should be for you. Kedesh HaKadashim, from the Holy of Holies, Mina Eish, from the fire, Al Karban, and all of their offerings, Chol Minchasam, and all of their meal offerings, Chol Chatasam, all of their sin offerings, Chol Ashamam, and all of their guilt offerings, Asher Yasimu Liba, Kedesh Kadashim Lachai, Lachahu Labanecha, Asher Yeshiva, when they return to me, they Kedesh Kadashim, they're all holy. L'chai, who it belongs to you, and to your sons, right? Others, it belongs to the Kohanim. So here is starting to delineate something that's already been done, but delineate the gifts that go to the Kohanim. Rashi 9, min ha'esh, from the fire, after the fire offerings are set smoking, Okay. Mina Karban, from their every of their offerings, like the sacrifices of peace offering of the community, Min Chosam, their meal offering, Chatosam, their sin offering, Vashamam, their guilt offering. In Mashman, this is understood as written. In other words, the Kohanim get certain pieces of meat, right? That's part of their gifts, from the guilt offering, from this sin offering, and so on. Asher yashivu, for they return to me. Ze gezel ager, this is theft from a convert. Because a convert, it's possible that someone converted and he doesn't have any legal heirs. And if they die, who do you return to? So it's returned to the Kohen. Well, it's returned to the sanctuary, and from the sanctuary, it's given to the Kohen. Exactly. Right. Number 10. You shall eat from the holiest places. Every male shall eat. Every male may eat of it. It shall be holy for you. So this is teaching us over here that when it comes to sacrifices that are of the holiest, highest level, they can only be eaten by male kohanim, and also only in the courtyard, not outside of the courtyard. 11. They shall be for you set aside for all the gifts from the tenufa is the wave offering, Bnei Israel, of the children of Israel. Nasatim, I have given it to you, Levanecha, and to your sons, and to your daughters. When it came to the holy ones, it was given only to the male. But these gifts are given, of the wave offering, are given to them, to your sons and your daughters. Whoever is pure in your family, in your house, right, is able to eat from it. Rashi, Truma Asmatana, these are separated from thanksgiving offerings, from peace offerings, and Nazarite ram. And the whole tenufa, all of these require a waving, like the Kohen would wave them. Kol tohar, anything ritually clean. V'lo tameim, and not impure. Kol Torah l'rabas ishtay, which includes the Kohen's wife. I don't know that. In other words, you have to be pure to eat these things, right? Ritually, and not ritually unclean. The whole Torah, also another explanation, it refers to his wife, because the verse said only his sons and daughters can eat from Thanksgiving offering, peace offerings, and Nazarite ram. Right? How about his wife? So I'm not exactly certain how that hints to it, but it hints to his wife. Okay. Okay. Kol chelav yitzar, but kol chelav tiresh v'dagan. All of the chelav means choice. All choice of oil and choice of wine, dagan and grain, reshisam, the first, asher yitnu la'Hashem l'chan nasatim, that it should be given to God. I've given it to you, to the Kohanim, right? Reshisam, he, Truma Gedela. This is referring to the Truma Gedela portion that was separated by the Israelites that is given to the Kohen. Yeah, it's like 2% of the produce. Bikurei kol asher ba'artzam, all of the first fruits that are grown on the land, on their land, asher yaviu l'Hashem, that they will bring to God. It'll be for you. What does it mean to bring to God? It means you have to bring it to Jerusalem, right? Kol Torah whoever is clean, ritually, spiritually clean in your household may eat from it, right? So anybody in your household. Kol cherem b'Yisrael l'chayeh. Any devoted thing in Israel shall be yours. Others that someone set aside as this is an offering, so it belongs to the Kohen. Right. Again, we're going through all of the gifts that the Kohanim get. Whole Peterechem, and all the first issue of the womb, whole basar of all flesh, that you will be close to God, whether it's the firstborn of a human or of an animal. Yelach will be for you, the kohen. However, you shall redeem as bechor ha'adam, the firstborn of, right? It's yours. So what do I mean? The firstborn belongs to you. If to redeem the firstborn child of a person, and the firstborn unclean animals, you shall redeem. You shall redeem from a month old. You shall redeem according to the evaluation kesef of silver. 5 shekels in the holy shekel, esrim gerahu, which is 20 value of 20 gera. Okay. 17. Bechor, however, Bechor, sure, the firstborn ox, or Bechor Kesef, the firstborn sheep, or Bechor Ez, the firstborn goat, Loitifte, you do not redeem it. Kodesh they are holy, as Damam Tizraik, and their blood you shall sprinkle on the altar. As and the fat it should be burned. A fire offering as a pleasing fragrance to Hashem. In other words, that you don't redeem the child you redeem, the unkosher animal you redeem, right? Because you can't put it on the altar, or you can't eat it. But the ox or the sheep or the goat, they are not redeemed, right? In other words, you get it, but the blood has to be put onto the altar of that firstborn. And the fat should be burned as a fire offering and pleasing fragrance to Hashem on the altar. Ubisaram, and it's their flesh of these. Yelach it'll be for you. And like the breast of the waving and the right thigh, it shall be yours. Rashi kechaz etnufa sheikh yamin shel shlamim. This is of the peace offering that are eaten to the Kohanim, to their wives and their children and their slaves. For 2 days and a night. That's a peace offering. So likewise for the Bechor, also the same thing. In other words, anybody that's in the household, including even a slave, because slave is part of the household, can eat the Bechor, the firstborn animal, also can be eaten by all those in the household. Right? Nechal, to be eaten for 2 days and a night, that it should be yours. But Rabbi Akiva it comes Rabbi Akiva and taught, so the verse comes to add for you, another verb of being, you shouldn't say shall truma, that the first one is like the breast and the leg of the Thanksgiving offering. That may be only eaten for a day and a night. And let's quickly finish here. There's the sikh on this I learned this week called Trumas Kadashim. All of the Trumas, the gifts, Kadashim that are holy, Asher Yarimo b'nei Yisrael that are set aside by the children of Israel, Hashem Asati, Hashem that they set aside for God. Nesati Lacha, I've given it to you, Levanecha, right, to the Kohanim and to your sons, Levanesecha, and to your daughters, Itach that are with you. This is an eternal statute. Bris Melach Olam, it is an eternal covenant of salt. He lifnei Hashem, that it is before God, Lachol Lazecha Itach, for you and your descendants with you. Rashi in 19, right? Kol trumas akodshim, everything that is set aside from the sanctities, chibasa shel parsha zu, because of the preciousness of this parsha, of these teachings. Klola v'tchila, the Torah gave a general statement at the beginning. Klola v'tzayva gave a general statement at the end. But Prat B'emtza and all the details in the middle. Right? We just went through all the details, but we started off with a general statement about these being gifts to the Kohanim. And we end up also with a general statement. Bris melech haolam, it is an eternal covenant of soul. Kares bris im Aaron, God entered into a covenant with Aaron. Edavar habari, by something that is healthy and doesn't spoil, and miskayim is lasting. And makes others healthy. Others, it preserves other things from spoilage, right? The salt. Others, that salt is bringing out the idea that it's an eternal covenant. A covenant of salt, like a covenant that is cut for salt, that never spoils. So this covenant will never spoil. Last verse. Vayomer Hashem el Aaron, and Hashem said to Aaron, "Ba'artzam leisinchal, you will not inherit the land," meaning you're not getting a piece of the land. You're going into the land, right? V'chelek lo yela lacha b'seicham, you will not have a portion amongst them. Ani chelkecha, I am your portion, v'nachalascha, and your inheritance. So b'nei Israel amongst the children of Israel. Chelek lo yela lacha b'seicham. Even in the spoils of war, yeah, first it says you're not going to inherit the land, meaning you're not getting a piece of land. Then it adds something. You're not going to get any portion. Well, it's repeating. You just said you're not getting an inheritance of the land. So it means even when there's spoils of war, you won't get, right? The rest of the Jews will get, but not you. Okay, see you in a few moments.